Tarot. I'm Eleanor. This is my face for once. This is Pink Pearl Tarot. I'm going way out on a limb. I've never done this before, and I don't even know if it's okay. I don't know what the rules and protocols are, but this is my first VR, and I don't even know what VR stands for. I can just tell from context clues more or less what it is and how to apply it. But this is to Tarot is Magic, and it's hashtag Let's Be Tarot Friends. So I kind of feel like I've been screaming into the YouTube void for 4 years now, and I would really love to find some kind of community to connect with and to feel a little bit less like I am crazy. So hopefully this is something that anyone can do, and it's not like by invitation only or something, and I can just kind of jump in there through my own volition. Let me know gently if I'm wrong. Hang on. Josie, you gonna say hi too? Yes. This is Josie. She will not be ignored. All right. So, yeah. What type of art? All right. So I have all my prompts and notes written down. What type of art are you looking for in a deck? And so I think and express my thoughts in metaphors, and so I like metaphorical art. And I'm attracted to nature and animals, flowers. One I'm loving right now is this Midnight Magic. I think the mushrooms are so cool. I just love that. I love the colors. And I love the black background. I love the Raven's Prophecy. That's another one. It's very colorful but it's on the black. I don't know if I just totally love the orange though. I love the Harmony Tarot. I love the flowers in it. I love the way it kind of, it's elegant and simple. And like, I like cute things. I don't know if you can tell, I love pink and cute things. And so I love the Affirmator's Tarot. He's upside down, sorry. There, the Strength card. I love the Strength card. And something like the Transient Light, which is not as much colorful as far as the palette goes, but I kind of like the stark imagery of it. But it's like, since I read intuitively, I prefer to get more of an impression from the card that just opens the channel and gives me a meditative focal point rather than have a play acted out for me. I don't connect as well with lots of people and faces in the art, and definitely not keywords. I can't stand it when it has a word written on it. It's like, that's my job. Don't force it so much. And so I find all that distracting and overwhelming, and kind of like in real life. I prefer less stimulation. So what do you search for in a deck? And so nothing specific. I don't like have a checklist per se. Just, do I like it or do I not? It's just that simple. I will say, like, I'm in a weird place right now, especially since doing this video. It's had me thinking about it, and I don't connect with a lot of the artwork in some of my decks I have anymore. Like, I used to like the Housewives Tarot. I thought it was cute. I like the colors. I like the kitsch. But since, like, trad wives are becoming a thing, and it seems like fear and hatred and the attempted subjugation of women are on the rise, it just feels ickier than cute anymore. So I would really like to do a refresh of all my decks, but I don't know what to do with many of the ones that I have to get rid of. So what deck are you most intrigued by and why? And at this moment, it is the Sacred Web. And I didn't even realize it when I sat down to do this, how much of this is black. I mean, how many decks I have that I like have that black background. But I don't like necessarily black and white. I like it to have color. See that little pop of color in there? Like, I can find meaning in that. I love that. See, that screams heart chakra right off the bat. I don't even know what the card is. But it's like, it's one of the few that has a good balance of get out of the way so I can channel simplicity. But at the same time, it contains interesting details that hold meaning. So if I had more time to explore it, I like how it implies without saying directly. Like the symbolism, it feels a little more, let's say, primal, which I can access easier than like deep esoteric symbolism. It's elegant without being heavy-handed. So, is there a card in a deck you always check out first, and why? No, I like to see all 78 in order. I like to look for patterns and recurring themes and like common threads. So that's kind of like my ritual, is to go one by one and look at each one of them. Although I do kind of like strength and the star, but I don't like make a beeline for them. I'm sorry, I keep looking up here because that's where I am. I know you are right there. I'm bad on camera. This is why you don't see me on camera. This is why you just see the table. If there was one card in a deck you really don't like, would you not get it or keep it? So I haven't had a tarot deck ruined by a single card, although I have had a couple oracle decks ruined by it. Like in those cases, it doesn't feel as necessary to have the whole thing because it's not a structure the way tarot is. So there was one time there was a really gorgeous picture on one side and a kind of a quote with a word in it I didn't appreciate it on the other side. So I was like, well, I'll just take that out of the deck and I'll frame the artwork. So I feel like I have not wasted money, I guess. But I don't never have to see the words on it. But I stopped using the deck anyway because it's just like, my OCD is like, this deck isn't right. It's not complete. So, let's see. I actually have a whole bookshelf of decks that are not ruined by one card or another. It's just overall, I don't want to use for various reasons along those lines, and I honestly don't know what to do with them. Like, I feel weird selling them. I feel weird giving them away. I kind of don't know. Maybe you guys someone can advise me or direct me. What is your favorite? I'm gonna break this one into two. What is your favorite card in the tarot and why? So my favorite is the Star. So to me, it's a light in a dark time, and it brings just such an instant sense of relief when it's the most needed. Unlike something like the Sun or the Ten of Cups, which are just kind of, I don't know, just happy in general. It's like a sense of like not being alone, that light hasn't abandoned us, and it hits different than the Sun or the Ten of Cups. I don't know. It's because of that contrast. My least favorite card is the Lovers. Maybe that's probably a very unpopular opinion. It's like maybe I'm doing a money reading and I don't want to have to explain that this card with two naked people on it could mean lots of other things. It's just kind of... it's also a struggle because to me now, this is something that I'm open to discussion about if someone wants to help teach me a little bit, but I feel like it means on one hand, it means aligned lovers, connection, all this great relationship stuff, but then there's other schools of thought where it's also temptation away from that. It's a fork in the road opening up or another branch, and you're like, is this still what I want? And like, to me, those are two different for me to really combine in one card meaning. And also, I feel like romantic love is a little bit over pedestalized in Western culture. It's great and everything. It's wonderful. We, all love, but there's lots of kinds of love. And I feel like it's definitely like put up as the most important. And I don't concur. So what do people close to you feel about tarot and you're doing tarot? So I have the kind of friends and family who are kind of supportive of me no matter what dumb shit thing I'm doing, as long as it's not destructive, I guess. But no one close to me is really religious, so there's nothing weird there, but no one shares the interest either. I mean, I have friends that like to get readings and stuff too, but I have friends that actually read cards too, but we never seem to talk. It never comes up. I can always count on my mom for views and likes, and my partner, he helps me with technical stuff a lot of times. He's set up my camera and everything here. He helps me with my thumbnails. And I have had several friends express interest in me like participating in their wellness space or their events, and actually I need to do better about following up on that. So how do you feel about the esoteric stuff in tarot? I am interested in learning astrology, like official. I would love to take an actual course and learn the structure in a way that I can use it functionally, because I think it would add a layer and strength to my readings. But that said, I'm not a scholar. I'm not dumb, but I don't have that kind of mind, and like I didn't go to four-year college for a reason. I went to accounting school, and I have impaired working memory. Like literally I had to write every single word down here. I think it has a lot of value if you can retain all of that information for recall and have a mind for it. But I find myself having to look up some of the same symbols over and over and over, like when I do in my written readings, and I will go online, I will find the meanings of every little thing in that card. If it's from a Jane Austen book, I will read the Jane Austen book before I even start the reading. But I was not gifted with the intellect to learn it in a functional enough way for personal readings. So there have been opinions expressed that I have felt a little gate-kept out of around that, to be honest. RWS, Thoth, or Marseille, and why? RWS because it's what I learned with. It was the deck that was on the coffee table when I was growing up, and even though I do gravitate towards less literal representation artwork, I still have Smith's artwork as the structure in the back of my mind. Like, it could be a card with like a single sword on it, and it's like, I don't need what's in the card. I have that always back there to refer to. And in fact, one of my favorite decks right now is, I know I'm probably super basic. Oh my god, it's so basic. But I like this pink Rider-Waite. It's pink. It's the system I know. I like it. What can I say? What are your thoughts on cardstock? Goldilocks zone, I guess. Like, I wiffle shuffle and back shuffle, so I don't like it so stiff. Like, okay, I'm gonna let go of my notes and try to actually speak to you like a human being. See this, how it's bent? I don't know if you can see that in the light. See that? That's what happens when it's too thick to back shuffle, and the force you're applying all goes into the last final card. I hate that. That bums me out, because now I'm afraid that that card's going to come up more or less often because of that. And as much as I love this deck, I'm actually not super impressed with the cardstock. And I don't consider myself a cardstock snob, but that's a little thin. But either way, I have hobbit hands. I have the teeniest little hands, and my issue is less about cardstock than the size. Like, look, I can't get my hands around that enough to really shuffle it effectively unless it bends enough to get into that finger span, right? So if it is too big to fit, and if it's too stiff to bend into fit, then I don't like it. That's my opinion on cardstock. And none of that's what I wrote here. So I'm proud. I'm proud of myself. I talked. Bags or boxes? Boxes, because I like to display them on a bookshelf, and they, I'm not going to say I'm fooling anyone into thinking that I'm a reader, but like a reader of books, but bags would start to feel chaotic to me and disorganized, and plus I like to be able to see the titles. I'm looking at my bookshelf, by the way. But my partner has actually made me some really cool ones. Like, check this out. It's glass on both sides. So that's where I keep my little Rider-Waite Smith deck. And he made this one too, where I keep my Da Vinci Tarot. So that's cool. I mean, I don't have room for them all to be like that, but the ones that hate tuck boxes, they're the worst. Anyway, how did you learn tarot or get into it? So I received a reading from a friend that helped me out. And then kind of, you know, how you Google a random scream into the void question, and I found out there were tarot readers on YouTube answering all my questions, and then kind of like after a month or so doing that, decided to buy my own deck. Ooh, I broke the rule. I bought my own deck. I mean, I was gifted one soon after that, but I did buy a Rider-Waite, and a friend did give me a couple books, just some basic books just enough to help me learn and memorize the structure. And at first, I thought I needed a teacher or like a mentor to tell me if I was right or wrong, like to grade my paper like in school. But then I stopped myself because I realized I was never going to learn to trust my own tuition, that I would be always looking for a teacher for that validation. And it's like the entire point was to learn that what I feel it means is what it means. And there wasn't a teacher that was going to be able to give me that. That wasn't the point. At least for learning purposes. Like, obviously in a conversation, in a personal reading, you go back and forth and work out what it means for them, but that's different. So, best news in tarot world you have heard lately. Now, at first I had written, where do I go for that? Because I've just been doing readings. I'm sort of an outsider as far as the tarot community. So I didn't know what that there was news or where to get it from, so please direct me on that. But I wanted to correct that because Benny from Fool's Apprentice is actually doing a really exciting project where he's picking 78 people to discuss one of each of the 78 cards, and it's that's a really massive project, and it's like that really creates a lot of community and brings people in and kind of lets you see people the way, you know, you do a deck walkthrough. It's almost going to be like seeing all these different people too, and how, I don't know, I just think it's cool, and I'm going to be watching even if I don't get picked to participate on it. How many decks are on your to get list? Before I saw this hashtag, it was around 30, and since watching some of y'all's videos, it's probably closer to 50. Not that I will ever actually get them all, but my tastes are changing. And so a lot of these decks that I have, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like the Office Tarot, I was like, oh, I love the Office, I'll get the Office Tarot. But I'm like, as a tarot deck, it's like, I can't stand the Game of Thrones deck because they made it before the show was over. And anytime you take a TV show and make the deck before the show is over, you miss out on great characters, and you repeat characters for cards that there should never be the same character to represent different energies. That's just my opinion. So you've got, you know, certain characters on more than one card when there is plenty of cast and characters to have one for every card. But anyway, I wish I had the funds for a purge and a reacquirement of things that I like. But I am looking at, so like on Etsy, the Blue Earth I kind of like. One of you, who was it? I don't remember. Wonder Walking is one that I saw under this hashtag. There's a cute houseplant one that I want. There's a Star Trek one. Naked Heart. Okay. So if I could only keep 3 decks. My first Rider-Waite deck, obviously. Raven's Prophecy, also for sentimental reasons. Where are you? Right here. And The Spirit Within. And that's also, it's just, I don't love the cardstock, but it just, we have a history and it feels like a friend to me. So I would take that. How does knowing tarot influence your everyday? So creating content consumes an inordinate amount of my everyday. And so if it weren't for the channel, probably not as much. But just like my own daily card, which I usually struggle pretty hard to follow, honestly. But now my everyday is heavily influenced by who I am, which is night and day from who I used to be, and that is because of the tarot. So I guess in that context, you could say. If you could turn back time, would you have learned tarot another way? No. And I don't apply that line of questioning to anything in my life, honestly. My philosophy is that everything good and bad in my past has led to this moment. In fact, everything good and bad for infinity, back before I was born and got here, had to be as it was for this moment to be. So I have enough that I'm grateful for that's not a string I tug at. What are your thoughts on the 3 of Swords? So since I really don't do predictive readings, not in the true sense, I would never read it as, oh, something bad's going to happen to you. Good luck with that. Like, next week you're going to get stabbed in the heart. Like, no, it's more like we're looking on how to make the best choices and the use of the present moment to shape the future. And so I would say I would read the 3 of Swords as existing pain, unprocessed pain, which we all have some of that we carry somewhere in us. And so it calls attention to it for processing and addressing and listening to that for information. Mindfulness of it and how it's influencing our decisions and our behaviors in the current moment. So how many decks do you have right now? So in active or potential use on that shelf, 52 tarot decks and 69 oracle decks. Many were gifts. I am not that reckless of a spender, Mom. I have a whole shelf of ones that I don't actively use, and I'm not sure what to do with them. That's probably more like 30 oracle and tarot combined. It's like, okay, so for what I mean by say that, like I have a Japanese one, I have a Chinese one, I have a Hawaiian one, some that use goddesses from the different cultures and different traditions. Kuan Yin, Australian feather magic, there's a Maori one, some Egyptian stuff, some Native American stuff, I Ching. And a lot of that was given to me. A lot of it I bought when I was just starting, and I was like, oh, that's cool, I'll get that. But now I don't honestly know, be very vulnerable and naked here. I don't know how to discern if if a deck is being inclusive, if it's being appreciative, or if it's being appropriative. And so I just kind of put them all on that shelf until I can figure that out. Maybe someone can gently guide me on that. If you could befriend one person on Tarotube, who would it be? So I haven't been creeping around long enough to have like a friend wish list to answer that. I'm open. I'm just kind of whoever I connect to, but the tarot YouTubers I listen to the most consistently are Esoteric Sky, and I don't know if he would be considered part of the Tarotube community. He's just a reader who has kind of moved on more to astrology in the last years. But I would say, as far as who I've seen watching this VR, of this hashtag, let's see, I enjoyed Ascension Waves. I like how she referred to the decks as little museums. I was like, that's brilliant. I have thought that before, but not exactly put it into that words. And I was like, that's brilliant. That's perfect. I vibe with Benny from Fool's Apprentice. I think he's pretty cool. I like the style, the vibe. Let's see. Oh, and especially close to my heart, A Riffle in Time, because A Wrinkle in Time was like my best friend as a tween. So that novel is near and dear to my heart. So I love your name. I think that's awesome if you're out there. What is your favorite part of the day to do tarot? It doesn't matter, but I can't be hungry and I can't be rushed. So that's that. A confession. Okay. I don't know if this was part of it. I just know that it was on the prompts. My channeling style. This is, okay, I'm going to give away how the sausage is made. I'm going to tell you everything. This could make or break. This could ruin my channel. My channeling style, or gift if you want to call it that, is in automatic writing, not speaking. So everything I have said today, everything in all of my videos that you ever see, even the, hey, welcome to Pink Pearl Tarot, like I can't say it without writing it down. It will not come out right. It would be, hey, Pink Pearl, welcome me. It would not, I don't know. There's a disconnect. I need like neurosurgery. So I've never been officially diagnosed with any type of neurodivergence or issue, but I have tried for 4 years to just sit and riff on camera, pull cards and say what they mean. And I freeze so completely that there is no like, oh, practice makes perfect, slow progress, you'll get there. It is such a dead stop that there's no, the connection between my mind and my brain and my mouth is just like completely severed as soon as that camera goes on. I can have a conversation face to face with a person. I'm not impaired in that way, but yeah, I can't even put the words of a greeting in proper order. Like I just did a video the other day, and at the very end, because I didn't write an outro or something, I said, I'll see you in the next time. So I have to write it down, or I'll mix it up. I have some, like, it might be some kind of speech impediment or anxiety about the camera. I'm not sure. So I do feel some imposter syndrome when I see videos that call out what makes someone a legit reader or a scammer, and they say, watch out for lots of cuts. And it's like, I have a kid, Josie, this is a 20-year-old cat. When she uses her litter and she wants it clean right now, she cries like a human baby. It's abominable. It is the most heinous sound. And I have to. She'll do it in a, whenever, right when I'm in the middle of filming. I have to cut that. I have to. And I'm not going to start over. I trip over my words enough that it would be unlistenable if I didn't make those cuts. And so I hope that doesn't make me a scammer to anybody, because that's not what's going on. And also, even when I'm not on camera and I do pull cards, it takes me a long time to relax and to channel and to sing, to quiet my frontal lobe and let that, soften that and go quiet so the messages can come through. I am a slow channeler, and I'm not going to film 30 minutes of me breathing so I can appear in the name of authenticity. So the only time I'm consulting like the guidebook is if it's like a really abstract oracle deck that I have not memorized yet, or a tarot where like the creator has like totally gone off on their own way and like none of the cards correspond to the system that I know, then and I won't use those decks in in-person reading. I'm like, hang on, let me go look it up. I wouldn't do that, but I will use them in in-person. I'm not in person. See, can't talk. I would use them in written readings, and I like to kind of research. Like, I have some that are literary works and science people, and there's a Jane Austen one and a metal one, an Arthurian one, and I like to look up those people and those characters and read their stories and mine all of that. Like, there is so much research that goes into my written readings that I can't carry all that. I can't carry, but at the same time, I know intuitively what to pick up on. Like, with all that information, it just kind of, it lights up on the page for me. Like, that's relevant, that's relevant. These are the things that I'm going to take and weave together. That's a thread that goes with this. But that's the written readings. That's not these. That's just, I'm just slow is all it is. Wow, I did all that. I didn't write it down. But now I have to find my place. Yeah, my skill is in the written word, not the spoken one. So my confession, essentially boiled down, is hardcore imposter syndrome. Especially since my readings get so few views that I internalize whatever I'm doing wrong for the YouTube algorithm as that I'm just a bad reader. So, and, oh wait, I did write more. Okay, cool. I was afraid I didn't write an outro and I wasn't going to know what to say to wrap it up. So that was fun. Thank you, Tarot is Magic, for making the tag. I had a great time. I loved asking all these questions of myself. They're things I never really thought about. So I am looking for tarot friends. Hopefully I will find some with this video. And now I'm going to go for a walk. Have a great day.